Kara. Welcome to my craft room. Hey, it's wedding season and my son was invited to a bridal shower. He's a special needs adult guy and they're friends from high school. So I needed a bridal shower card and I thought that the Cricut Bouquet pop-up card would be perfect for that. So I changed the cover, put bride to be on there, and then look at that. How fun is that? I think she's really going to like it. So let's go make it. Okay, for this project, we're going to start on the front page. You guys will have to be a little patient with me because I'm rusty at this. As you can see, I have put your list of images right here. So let's go into images. Let's get our lace background. As you can see, I've already looked it up. You, in order to look up images by their code number on Cricut, you put a hashtag M in front of everything. So you're just going to click on it and you can see it puts it down here by your ad. Okay. Now here's your list. So go ahead and get all of these images and get them put on your canvas and I will meet you over there. We'll do sizes and colors. Okay, so here we are on the canvas. I'm going to get some of this stuff out of our way. Let's move our envelope way down here where it's not in our way. Okay, and let's move our images up here. Okay, let's do our, oops. They've changed this around, so sometimes we're going to have trouble with that. Okay, I'm going to move all 4 of these pieces together. Then I'm going to drag my finger across and grab all of them. Go to edit, and then we're going to change this color. I'm going to make it a light green. It doesn't matter. It's just to keep my space. Now, the reason I didn't do these 2 at the same time is because they have a score mark on them. And for that, you have to go into layers. Let's find it. There it is. And you see on this piece, you have the score line and the basic cut in 2. So I've got to highlight just the paper part, and then I can change that color to the same ones. Same with this one. There we go. Like I said, I'm a little rusty at this. So you guys will have to give me a little space here. Okay, now, so we've got all of our pieces green. Half of my roses I made in my, I'm going to move these 2 over here. Half of these I made into the darker pink. Okay, so we're going to go into edit here. So let me push this pink here real quick, but I'm going to bring it way over here. And that is going to be my darker pink. There we go. And these here are going to be my lighter pink. Edit. And let's see. Let's go way over here. There we go. Now, they're lighter and these guys are darker. Okay? That just gives you a little bit more interest on the bouquet. These 2, I made mine white. Okay, here, let me move all these out of the way here for a second. Let's go ahead and finish our pop-up card. So you see down here at this lower left, that's a bright white. You can see they're kind of an off-white on here. So I want mine to be bright white. Of course, you can change the colors to whatever you want. This is going to be my darker pink. But again, it's got a score line on it. So we've got to come over here. Let's find it. So let's go in here. I'm going to use this darker pink for that. Then these pieces, let me find them. Okay, the background piece I did in the darker pink, and I did that in the darker pink. Just make sure you have just the background, not the score lines. Oh, somehow that other piece got in there, but we'll fix that. Now I'm going to go find the pieces that go on top. You see all these little triangular pieces? They've changed this a little bit. Now you can pick all 4 at the same time. So I'm sorry, I forgot that they had changed that while I was sick. So there we go. Now that's going to be the light. And then I want all three of these to be the darker pink. But again, I only can choose not the score, but just the piece of paper. So let's go back to the edit. And these are my darker pink. The colors don't have to match up perfect to whatever your paper is. It's just for you to kind of keep everything together. Okay. There is your envelope. If you want to, you can change it to white. Change this one to the bright white. Okay. So there's all that. My roses. First, we're going to do ungroup. Okay. There we go. The top one is going to be the lighter pink. So edit, color, light pink. And the background is going to be the darker pink. There we go. I'm going to put these back together again. Okay, group them back, drag my finger across, group it. Then my flowers are 0.38 wide, so you're going to go into edit. Width is going to be 0.38. And we need 3 of these. So you're going to go to action and hit duplicate, duplicate. And there's your 3 flowers for your bouquet on your wedding dress. So there's those. So while we're here, let's go ahead and do our leaves. I'm going to go into layers and show you. I did not use this part. Okay, so I'm just going to hit the little I button to do our size. What is my size? 0.23 wide. So edit, width, 0.23. There we go. And I know they're tiny, but they got to go in the front of the wedding dress. And we need 3 of those also. So action, duplicate, duplicate. There we go. I'm just going to put all of these over here by the flower. So let's do the dress real quick. For mine, I did it the bright white right here. Okay. It is, let's see, 2.81 width. Whoops. 2.81. So there's your thing. And let's put our bouquet up here in front just to kind of keep everything together. And I'm going to group that. Let's go ahead and do our bride-to-be. Don't want the wedding rings and we don't want the year. So let's go into our thing and we're just going to hit the I, and that takes them away. And then just like that. And then our color, edit. Our color is going to be the bright white. And our size is 0.56 high. 6. And the width. Okay, so you're going to unlock this button that's in between. So we can manipulate both sides. And it is going to be 2.63. 2.63. There we go. Letters a little bit closer together. So that's done. Let's take the layers off. Let's go put this. There we go. I'm just going to put it up there with the wedding dress. Now, here we go. We need the background. So I'm going to ungroup this. We don't need the envelope. So delete. Then you see all this? We do not need this. So we're going to delete it. We're going to make this into the bright white. There we go. Size for that is going to be 4.75 wide. Go ahead and relock this button just in case. 4.75. And then our height is exactly right. Okay. Now this guy is going to be 2.88 wide. Let's go ahead and change that while we're here. There we go. That's the right size. And since the background on our card is the dark pink, I made this one into the light pink. So let's go up here and change that. This goes on top of this. And then this goes here. And the bride-to-be is going to go right underneath it. All done. All of this done. Let's put it up here. Okay, last thing we need to do here, we need to go check our colors in sync. So you hit sync And we want everything, all the greens to be the same, the pinks, because this card only uses 3 different colors, which means you only have to do 3 mats. So these leaves, we want them up here with the bouquet part. So you just hold down the 2 lines and drag it up into what you want. So you got the green, the light pink, the dark pink, and the white. So that is done. You are ready to cut. If you will do, I made these bigger so I could show you. If you will do me a favor, go ahead and glue these 3 little roses together and glue all of these roses onto the green parts. Okay, and one more, glue all of these light pink panels onto here. If you will do that, then once we get onto the craft table, it'll go really fast. So get all this cut out, and I will meet you over at the craft table, and we'll get it put together. I organize everything on paper plates, and I just use them over and over and over again. It makes it easier for me to keep everything organized. In glue, I use art glitter glue. I usually buy these and the refill on there, and this tip that puts it out really fine. A little bit goes a very long way. And it's linked down in my description. Envelope. Of course, you can, like I said when we were on the canvas, of course you can use the envelope that came with it. This is not the correct envelope, but you can see, you just fold down the edges. And then you can do another little rose to glue here if you want. This is a 5x7 card, which is a very standard size. And so you can get envelopes. I bought these at Hobby Lobby at half off. So there you go. Now, I always start with the front of the card, but I do not glue the front on. So let's get this going and so it can be drying. Okay, now your dress. It's going to be about 1 inch up, and it's going to come pretty close to the sides. Now, I always dry fit, which means I lay it out first, dry it, make sure it's going to look good before I start gluing. Okay, now here's this little piece, and this little piece. There we go. Those go in the sides. And then the bride-to-be, I'm going to set it right here next to it, so I can show you. It is just about the same size, both parts. So you're going to put the gap in between them pretty much in the middle. So let's go ahead and get the skirt done first, because then it'll be easier for us to space everything else. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our glue on. And thank you for gluing all of the things that I needed you to glue together before we came on here. You are too good. Now, don't miss these little curly cues too. You don't want them to catch on the envelope as they pull it out. Okay, so we want to make sure these little curly cues get glued down well. Okay, there we go. And we're going to do it about 1 inch above the bottom. And the sides of the dress are going to be very close. Okay, I gotta pick it up so I make sure it's straight. Okay, if I'm doing this just by myself, I will stand up and check it. But since I'm doing it on camera, there we go. There's our dress. Let's put this bigger part, the middle part, in first. And again, make sure you get the little edges of these curly cues. You just don't want a lot sticking out where it can grab onto the envelope as it's coming out. Okay, there's a gap that's basically the same size as these curly cues on here. So we're going to put it down to where it's pretty much the same gap in between. Okay, and then we've got this little square part up here is going at the top. So let's get some glue on here. It's going to go right in here. You see that? Okay. So the bigger square part is going to go up. And this glue dries clear, so I'm not super worried about having a little bit of glue here and there. Okay, you're going to set this so it continues your little curly cues. There we go, just like that. And then let's do this one. Okay, and it is going to go right here. Okay, there you go. Now, then your bride-to-be, like I said, the gap between these two pieces is going to be pretty much in the middle. And you're just going to, it's not going to be as close to the edges as this, but it's not going to be too far, okay? And hopefully cutting it out with intricate cuts and more pressure worked for you. It did for me. I didn't have any trouble with that. Again, make sure you get any kind of, you know, little piece that might stick up. Okay, I'm going to put it right here. Now, I didn't pull the little dot of the eye off of my cutting mat because there's no way that I wouldn't lose it in between the two. I have, let's see, where are they? I've got white pens, white opaque pens. Oh, here they go. Here's ones in the package. I'll go back and use those and just dot my eye. So that's up to you on which way you want to do it. Go ahead and take it off of your paper or pen. That's your choice. Okay, let me get this guy glued down. Okay. And I'm going to try to make it kind of about the same distance from the edge here. And there it is so far. Now, I thought this was kind of plain. I usually go more towards like plain graphic things. So, but still. And so I really wanted to do a bouquet. Okay, and you've got 3 leaves, and you can put them right in between. But for me, I'm actually going to overlap mine just a little tiny bit, so they look more. The flowers are not going to all be side by side. Okay, and I'm going to overlap this one just a little bit. There we go. And then we're going to do this guy. Okay, just like that. And then you got these little bitty green leaves. And the easiest thing for this is to put the glue where you're going to put the leaves because they're so tiny. Just because it's hard for you to see what I'm doing because these pieces are so small. So I'm going to put one dot of glue right here where there's these little gaps here. Now, the one that's going up and down, I mean, the one that's on the top, I'm not going to put it, you know, straight up and down like this. I'm going to angle it a little bit. Otherwise, it won't look natural. Okay. And I'm going to slide it under the roses, just like that. Okay. Next one. Okay. I'll lift the roses up just a little bit. Let me get it down where I want it. There we go. I'm going to turn it a little bit. Then I'm going to lift up this rose right here to slide it under. There we go. And we've got the one more. I'm going to add a little bit more glue. This one, I'm probably need to do it by hand. And there you go. Look at that. Look how good you're doing. You've already got the cover almost done. Now, this is made to just slide into the slots. But we are also covering that cutout in the cover. You can see mine's not in the middle. Instead of looking at the slits, look at these edges here. So I'm going to move it over and put it where I want it. And this is why I'm going to glue it because I don't want it moving around. It's even on the side. So I am going to flip this over. I'm going to pull up this corner. Well, actually, it's going to be a lot easier if I do it like this, okay? You bend the white a little bit, stick a little bit of glue under there, just like this, that. I got all kinds of little tips and tricks I can show you. I've been doing this for a very long time. Okay, now, don't glue this yet. I just want to show you. This is going to go on the front. Look how good you're doing. Okay, now, we're going to take this and set it aside. Okay. And let's go ahead and get our bouquet done. I know this looks hard. I know it looks complicated, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to break it down for you, okay? First, let's do some folding. I went ahead and folded all of these so they're ready. And okay, all of these go up and these go down. So there's that. You're going to bend your bow on the score line. And then these two guys, they have to fold, remember, for you to close your card, because this is all about being able to close your card, okay? So this is, the middle one's going to be go up, going to be a mountain fold, and these two are going to be valley folds. There we go. Same as this side. Okay, there's that. Now, here we go. Now, I know this looks hard. I promise. I'm going to break it down so it's super easy. You've got 3 different sizes here. Let's do, first, you've got the ones with the tabs. Okay, tab. They're going to be on the outside for these particular ones. And then you've got these medium-sized ones. And they're going to go flowers out. And then you've got these little tiny guys, and I'm going to put them up here, okay, because that's the order we're going to put them together. Okay, let me move these out of the way so they're not distracting. Okay, you're going to use the first slits here. You see this first one and this first one. Okay, and we're going to slide this just like this. Slide one of those slits into the other. And you're going to take them all the way to the top till it absolutely stops. These should be even down here. And as we're building this, if it gets a little bit off, we're going to fix all that when we get to the card. So there you go. Look, you've already got your first part. Okay. So there. Now we're going to go to the medium-sized ones. Here we go. Okay. Now this one with the 2 flowers is going to go on this side. And you're going to use the first slit again with this bottom one right here. Okay. So, and the triangle part goes to the back. The flowers go to the front. I'm going to hold this like this. Okay. And we're going to do right the very first slit next to the roses. Okay. Do you see that? You see that? And you still have one left over here. Okay, so let's do the other side. And you're basically going to do the exact same thing. It might be easier for you to just fold these flat to slide this one in because you've got all of this back here. Okay, so again, this slit and this first one right next to the roses. So we're just going to slide it in and it will slide under your first layer, just like that. You see? Okay, now before we put these small pieces in, okay, and this again is going to be a little tricky. You see this slit and this slit? We need to get them put in each other. That's going to give you the sturdiness that you need. The easiest way is to kind of rotate it a little bit like this, and all you need to do is get that little tip in there. There we go. Your 2 triangle pieces. Okay. There we go. Now, mine's become a little dislodged. Pull that. There. Okay. And you see how that's a triangle in the back? I'm going to lay it flat so you can see. Here, I'll put it right side up. Okay. So now you've got those 2 triangles from those middle pieces hooked in together. Do you see that? Okay, and you've got 2 slits left. You've got this big one and little one. Big one and little one. So what's going to happen is this is going to go in the big one and this little hook is going to go into the little one. Now, this may be easier for you if you do it from the back and keep it a little flat. So you're going to line up your big, here, I'm going to open it just a little bit. That might be easier. Okay, so now we're going to slide this in here. Okay, and you see where your little hook is there? We're going to try to do both at the same time. Okay, do you see that? We got the little hook on the triangle, and then we've got the big slit on the rest. Okay, do you see that? Okay, so this last piece, you should have this sticking out and this sticking out. And we're going to do the exact same on the other side. If the pieces have come a little dislodged, I'm going to show you how to fix all that. So you shouldn't have too much trouble. I'm going to open this up just a little bit. There we go. It's a little easier that way. Again, the bigger slit here. Okay, and the little hook looking slit is going to go into that back triangle, just like we did before. And look at that. Look what you did. See? You break it down. It's not as hard as you think it's going to be. Okay, I'm going to make sure all of my slits and slots are where they're supposed to be. There we go. Make sure this one's put down. Now, let's flip her over. Okay, you see where you got a hole right here. So I'm going to pull this one up. When you open it, it's going to look like that. Look how cool that is. Look what you've already done. It's not as hard as you think it is. You didn't think it, I mean, it's not as hard as you thought it was going to be, was it? Okay. Okay, so we've got that part done. And we've got this part done. So let's get the inside of our card done. This is going to be covered by our front piece. So, okay, now these slits need to go in like a V. The rose tabs are going to go in the smaller, and the, I don't know, vase, fan, whatever, is going to go in the larger slots. Okay, so instead of gluing these down and then trying to fit these little tabs in here, I have found it's easier to do the tabs first. So it's the rose. This is going to be first in the smaller slit like this. Okay, and then your vase, I don't know, wrapping, whatever it is going to go in this larger slit. Now, you want them to go all the way to the fold. So the slit and the fold are matching up. Do you see that? Okay, now we're going to turn it over. Again, I'm going to pull these. You want to make sure that your flaps are all the way to the fold, okay? Just like this. That's what it should look like. And then we need to glue them. So I'm going to put this up underneath here. And these are going to take quite a bit of tension and stress because they're the ones that are going to be unfolding. So I'm going to put some pretty good glue on here. Okay. I want to make sure that these glue down really good, just like that. Okay. Let's do that same thing to the other side. Right. The roses go in the smaller, the vase goes in the, it's not a vase, I know. I don't know what you call it. A bouquet wrap? I don't know. Okay, but I just thought this one was perfect card for a bridal shower. You know? Okay, I've got that partially in. I'll fix it when I get to the other side. Then I'm going to get this one put in as well as I can. And then I'm going to flip it over. Okay, just like this. Again, you've got to remember you need to glue it all the way to the fold. Okay, I want the fold and the slit to match up. Okay, so let's do the pink first. Let's make sure that we've got it where we want it, all the way to the fold. It should fold over easily. If it doesn't, that means you don't have it pulled in tight enough, just like I did. Uh-oh, look, I lost my bouquet, which is fine. We're not in any hurry. Okay, there we go. Let me get this one put back in. There we go. And again, make sure it folds over easily and you are matching up the score line with the edges of the slit. And look, I just got to watch what I'm doing. I'm going to put my hand up under here so I have something to push against. Okay, now before we glue it in the card, you can see for it to pop up correctly, you're going to need it about 1/4 of an inch. Here, in between these two white pieces, okay? Now, let's make sure that we're doing good, and we're going to close. Okay. When we're completely done, there's going to be some that's going to catch at first, and then we're going to practice making sure that it folds so it'll close, because it's not going to be any good if it won't fold and you can't get it in your here, and you can't get it in your envelope. Okay, there we go. These are catching because one of them's bent. And look what you got. Look at what you've already done. You are doing so good. Okay, let's get it glued in to our inside. Now, remember when I told you about a 1/4 inch? Okay, what you're going to, it might be easier for you to see. You want all of these sides even. Okay, so up and down, you see you've probably got what? 1/8 of an inch. So on the sides, you want 1/8 of an inch also. So let's get these glued in. Okay. Now, when I'm doing the other side with the cutout for the very front, normally I'll say be careful about where you put the glue because it'll show through your rose cutout on the cover. But we're going to cover it up. So you still don't want a ton of glue, but we're going to cover it up. Okay, now remember how we did that. It's going to be 1/8 of an inch. It's all going to be even. Okay, make sure that I get these all in the right spot. There we go. There. If you get this and this and this in the right spot, then you don't really have to worry too much about the middle. Okay, let's do this side. So, I have a special needs adult son, and his high school friends, typical friends, are now of the age where they're all getting married. And this is going to be for one of them. Again, I'm going to get all these edges pretty much exactly the same distance. Okay. Now, we're going to be a little careful because I've got a little bit of glue sticking out from these roses, and we want to make sure we don't. And I'm going to tell you, leave this open and let it completely dry because you don't want it gluing together, and you also don't want anything on the cover gluing to the inside of your envelope. Let's make sure that this is going to fold. There we go. Look at that. You're doing really good. Okay, my fan, I keep calling it a fan because it looks like a fan. There we go. If you need to push on it because your folds, especially on this fan, aren't quite exact, not a big deal. You're just helping the paper. And once we get done, we're gonna do this a whole bunch so it gets used to what it's supposed to be doing. Okay, so you can go ahead and do that a little bit if you want. Okay. All we have left is the bow. Okay, so these two pieces, see where these thicker lines are? That's where your ribbon's gonna go, here. Okay, like this. Okay, you want like a square gap here. You see? So you're not gonna glue either one of these little pieces. You're only gonna glue each end. Okay? And we're going to fold it and close it as soon as we get one glued on because we want to make sure that it's going to fold in the right place when you close it. Okay. So this side is going to go here. And then we are going to do like that. Okay. And then while the glue is wet, we're going to close it to make sure it's in the right spot. There you go. So it might have moved a little bit just to, because you want to make sure that it closes. That's your most important part on any card. Same thing for this side. Okay. Again, this part's going to go right there on that thick line. And I do have glue here and there here. So I am definitely going to leave mine open. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to close it to make sure. See, I don't have it quite in the right spot. Just watch it. Okay, here's another way you can do it. If you can, you fold it, look, you fold it where it's flat, and then you just close the card, and then it's going to glue exactly where it's supposed to glue. There we go. There we go. Look how good you're doing. Now, all we've got to do is put the bow on the top. And this will glue down all of it, each piece. Okay, and you're just going to do it right here on the score. Okay. There we go. Just like that. Look what a great job you did. Okay, look, my ribbon. I'm going to have to glue it again. Look at that. Look what you already did. Oh, and I was going to show you, look, I made one as a sample so I could practice how I'm putting it together. So I would be able to show you. And look at this. We've only got this one left. Here we go. We're going to make it pretty even all the way around. Just like that. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to make sure I get all this very, very, very outside edge done so it won't catch on the envelope as it's being pulled out of the envelope, okay? So I'm going to make sure I get kind of good glue all the way around these edges. Anywhere that I think might catch. You don't want them to tear it before they even get to look at it. That's not going to work. I found this, well, you saw on Canvas that I found this lace edge, and I just really love it. I think for a bridal shower, it's, you know, so pretty and feminine, and it just adds a little detail. Okay, once I get done with all these edges, then I'm going to make good glue here where these go in. Okay, make sure that they glue in there well so they're not going to shift. Then I'll put a little bit around the edge and then some here in the middle. Okay, I am going to start on one side because I basically know where it's supposed to go. Okay, I might have to turn. Okay, I got to pick mine up to see if I'm straight. Oh, and I am. I'm going to pull this just a little bit to the left. Oh, did I do it too much? There we go. Look. Look what you made, and look how cute it is. And of course, you can change these colors to match whatever the wedding colors or the shower colors are. So here we go. You're going to open it, and look at that. You did a fantastic job. I am so proud of you.